Assalamualaikum, everybody. Can we start now?
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Selamat pagi kepada semua peserta dan kawan-kawan yang menyertai program Forum Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia Southern Chapter PAMSo, iaitu B4TVoice. Okay, saya Hidayat dan partner saya Miss Andy adalah moderator untuk program Share and Tell pada hari ini, dan kami juga merupakan graduate arkitek. Heidi.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Heidi. I'm the graduate representative in PAM Southern Chapter Committee. As mentioned by Encik Hidayat and I will be the moderator for today's session. First of all, thank you everyone for joining our first PAMSo online event under B4TVoice, a platform for young architects. This is also the first session of our series called Sustainability is the New Norm, which will be conducted in 4 series. Today's topic is Share and Tell, which will be divided into 2 main programs. During the first program, we will be inviting 3 senior architects as our speakers to share their views and insights on 3 different topics. Following by the second program, we will be opening up the forum and encourage the young architects to share your current issues and challenges. We would also like to take this opportunity to promote our PAMSo ArTV on YouTube channels. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel as we will be continuously uploading the videos and infographics relating to our profession and practice. B4TVoice is also one of the new norm ideas on ArTV YouTube channel. Now, I would like to share the objectives of the B4TVoice forum. The B4TVoice is PAMSo's platform to empower emerging young architects under 40 years old, which basically is to let the young architects' voices to be heard. And this first Share and Tell session is a casual open discussion to understand all the challenges faced by the young architects, specifically in the southern region, especially during this challenging time. All participants are encouraged to utilize this platform created by PAMSo to raise your concerns and issues pertaining to your challenges. PAMSo graduate committee members will be collecting the issues and concerns raised by our young architect members, and we will deliberate and discuss them on our ArTV and subsequent channels and sessions of this series.
Okay, thank you Miss Andy. Okay, sebelum kita ke speaker, kami ingin maklumkan ini kali pertama PAMSo membuat sesi forum secara online, dan mohon maaf sekiranya terdapat masalah teknikal ya. Okey, seterusnya sebelum tanpa meninggalkan masa, kami ingin memperkenalkan barisan speaker kita. Yang pertama, Farik yang merupakan chairman PAMSo dan principal pada Gafar Arkitek. Okey, yang kedua, Hazri merupakan mantan chairman PAMSo dan principal Hazri Studio. Yang ketiga, Mansur merupakan wakil arkitek muda dan principal Shah Arkitek. Yang keempat, Afi merupakan wakil arkitek muda juga dan pengarah studioKAIZEN. Okey, seterusnya kami ingin berjemput Chairman PAMSo Farik untuk memberikan pengkongsiannya mengenai PAMSo New Norm. Silakan Cik Farik.
Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi, good morning. Saya mengucapkan terima kasih pada partisipan, especially dalam suasana PKP. Jadi cara untuk kita berhubung, kita terikat dengan online. So kita Southern Chapter ni satu chapter yang agak unik disebabkan oleh kita selama ini belum pernah lagi menggunakan platform online untuk membuat program. This is the first out of 7 program yang kita setuju dalam komiti dan yang menjadi satu kebanggaan adalah daripada 7 graduate dan young architect yang memulakan siri online PAMSo. So saya rasa ni satu privilege lah kepada young architects lah. Jadi kita namakan program ni B4TVoice. Kita bermaksud kita sediakan satu platform khusus untuk young architect. Definition of young architect di bawah PAM adalah untuk graduate dan juga young architect. Seperti dalam grup ni kita ada Mansur dengan ArTV yang boleh berkongsi pengalaman, berkongsi idea untuk memperkasakan grup young architect. Pada saya, definisi of young architect ni tidak perlu dikoinkan dengan umur, tetapi kita perlu forum ini ditujukan untuk value kepada young platform agar ni dapat memperkasakan sama ada sekiranya you graduate, you bersedia untuk melangkah ke alam yang kita akan namakan dalam siri ini part 4 telah dapat part 3, what happened to you yang berjaya melepasi dan mendapat title AR ini lah. So kita ada variety dan saya rasa saya mohon people yang ada hari ini, you take it to further step kerana kita adalah salah satu pelopor yang pertama mengadakan satu channel khusus secara YouTube kepada young platform yang disokong oleh pertubuhan sendiri. Jadi mesej daripada PAMKR untuk memperkasakan di bawah B4TVoice. So kita perlu ambil satu peluang ini untuk buktikan bahawa kita di Southern Chapter juga adalah satu grup yang aktif untuk yang platform. So itu dari saya. Kami di bawah komiti kami sangat mengalu-alukan dan menyokong suara-suara daripada yang dengan graduate architect. Walaupun kita yang ini selalu dianggap satu grup yang disruptif, tapi is a positive disruptive. So let us show what you can do. Saya mengambil contoh daripada firma saya sendiri, di mana saya berumur 53 dalam gambar tu. So jadi saudara ArTV adalah staff saya yang berumur 31, 20 tahun 23 tahun, tetapi kita boleh can do magic, can do architecture. Jadi maknanya saya sekarang hantar message kepada senior architect that we need to give the younger one a big platform untuk kita move forward. So we want to do dalam siri speech ni, dalam direction yang kita ambil sebagai example kepada young and graduate architect untuk ada satu sumber inspirasi. Itu saja saudara Hidayat. Kita belum boleh panggil Hidayat lagi, panggil saudara Hidayat.
InsyaAllah boleh tu.
And Miss Hidi.
Okay.
First of all, Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi semua. And a very good mornings to everyone. I think this will take your Saturday mornings. I hope you guys taken your breakfast and ready for this sessions. Before that, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Chairman, Architect Farik, a newly elected Chairman, Architect Farik, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience throughout my very few years in this field. Being PAMSo Chairman before for 3 terms, I think I've learned a lot too, and I hope you guys, the new members, especially the graduate architects who has the intention to join to become an architect, I hope this sharing will be benefiting for you. Okay. I tengok tadi bila Architect Farik mention umur ni, I was just thinking kalau if there is ada perempuan punya speaker, I rasa sensitif umur tu. I think men don't bother about age. I think we pretty open on the age. Okay, alright.
Makan dia mai je hari ni.
Mungkin kalau Hedi selepas ni mungkin dia concern juga Hedi.
Kantoi.
Okay, alright. Take it is very apa ni orang cakap leisure session, santai-santai je. So when I was given the topic through thick and thin, I think I thought like, what am I going to talk? But okay, I think I'll just do my sharings. I think things that I can think of, then I'll just put in words or put in the slide. So basically, most of the things that I'm going to talk about is reflected in the slide in point form, but I will elaborate further on this. Just 10 minutes. So I hope I got I hope the full attention from all the participants this morning. Okay. And thanks. Secondly, I would like to thanks to Ms. Hedi Lau and Mr. Hidayat for the brief introduction, and also I'd like to congratulate both of you for taking part in PAMSo events this morning. I think not many would like to come forward to join PAMSo events, especially the graduates one. So I applaud you for this effort. To both of you. Okay, I think it's a big task for you. I think being first. And good to try. Okay, good. I would like perhaps you can really participate more after this. Okay, to those graduate architects out there who are yet to become PAM graduate members, please join us. Okay, we had plenty of events in the pipelines that is prepared and discussed within PAMSo. So I hope you guys will join us, especially this year, because what happened is that this year we had a special discount. That has been tasked by PAM Central, so you get a discount for membership. So take this opportunity to become a member. Please join us, because we need full lots of members to join us to make it merrier. Okay. I still remember. Okay, look at the first slide. Hidayat, can you go to the first, second slide on this? Okay, Asian financial crisis. Okay, what happened is that when I still remember when I came back from UK in 1998, end of 1998, to be exact, it was in November 1998. It was an economic downturn. To be exact, it was an Asian financial crisis, but the fear felt around the world. Not just in Malaysia but around the world. It's actually a global recession, and hit us hard on our grounds. For that matters, you can't really demand a high salaries, and job offer was very less due to less job in the market. So things a bit tough at that particular time when I get back from UK. So so perhaps that could be a good start. How to thin and thick relate this throughout my sessions. Okay, so my intention is to work in UK for as long as I can until I had enough money to bring back home. But unfortunately, all the things that I planned did not materialize. There is no reply from my job application. I didn't apply much, but I only applied few. But even the few doesn't get much response. Okay. Well, I'm not surprised at all, because as one of my local classmates who had sent 200 applications, job applications, but still hard to land him a job. Just imagine 200 applications at that time in 1998, just before I went back to Malaysia. My classmate, a local British, sent out a 200 application, but then still hard to get them a job. So, things are really, really hard, not just in Malaysia, but even over in UK. Okay, to cut the story short, my first job as graduate architect was in a small office, small practice in KL. But the pay wasn't very good. It was very little. It only lasted for 3 weeks. Okay, just imagine you expect once you finish your studies, you expect to get loads of money, tons of money from the pay, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So I decided to quit a job it only lasted for 3 weeks. I thought that it was not worth it to continue because the pay is really, really low. You can't imagine. You can't imagine. I was being an architect. You were paid less than 1,000 a month. So I thought that I could learn, but at the end, I decided it's not worth it. Then I contacted my former office, and it was kind enough to accept me. I was reluctant to actually work again with my former office. And then I thought of making a new acquaintance, wanted a new and fresh experience somewhere else, because you basically learn from there, from the previous office. But whatever I'm saying here is that it will relate that the things, the elements that I'm going to talk about later on. Okay, because you learn in the previous office before, but things that happen is that you have no choice but to work. So again, you have to work there. What's happening right now really reminds me of what happened 20 years ago. Back in 2021, over years ago, jobs are really scarce. Even now, unemployment. Reality is that there's a lot of unemployment, retrenched. I've got friends who doesn't work for more than a year now, still looking for job. Retrenchment rates are in the upward trends, but you don't need to sort of like worry so much, because those who are affected normally are the seniors, who had a big pay. So they are normally the first one to be affected. Okay. Next one is that I had basically list down 6 reasons which I could share here throughout my experience, which I think is important. Hidayah, if you can scroll down to the first one is develop your own unique skills and attributes. Okay, I repeat, develop your own skills and attributes. These are very, very important, because during this time of downturn, or even when you are in good terms, you need to acquire this skill. Okay, knowledge that the skill is not really, it doesn't come to you. It has to be acquired. It has to be. You have to go to the skills. The skill doesn't go to you unless you go to the skill. Always contribute and speak what you think, and do active in the discussions. Ask questions. Firm will always seek new young talent who are enthusiastic and passionate with this work. Willing to do extra. I think willing to do extra is very, very important. You don't really. No, orang Melayu cakap, macam berkira. Don't be berkira, because that's what I do. You work extra times, extra things. Even a small detailings, whatever that being asked to you, you do. Be willing to do extra, and don't be calculative. That's not my part. That's not my what I'm going to mean. Lower down your expectation, particularly in this time. When times is hard. So do whatever you can do. Do whatever you've been assigned for. That being calculative doesn't really good for you, because you are sort of like putting your character to your bosses, because that is not my work. It's not under my scope. Also excuses. Giving excuses is not things that to play with when you are in the very, very crawling stages of your career. Always be willing to learn and eager to take up new challenge. Okay, this is another task that I think you need to be learn to be embedded within you. These kind of positive attributes need to be grasped and learned. What I'm saying is that need to be grasped and learned. So these are very important. First one again is to develop your own unique skills and attributes. Whatever that you can do. Because positive mindset, positive attributes, integrity are all matters. So if you can scroll down further below, item 2, which I could share here, perhaps always be willing to voice your ideas and opinions. Okay, this another important things, okay, important aspects, not just you as a person, but also you as an architect. You always be curious of what you things that you wanted to do. Be curious in that it will encourage questions, encourage the things that you don't know. But once you don't know, you don't keep quiet. You don't be silent about it, but you need to ask. What are things that you need to ask? You need to learn how to make questions. A good question. Eventually, you will get through there. Learn to ask questions. Not just beginning, probably yes, ask question, any question, but throughout, as you progress further, you need to learn how to ask good questions. Okay. Don't worry if it is wrong. Okay. Don't worry. Don't be timid about yourself. You need to be brave to voice your opinions. Okay. When you voice or your opinion, when you voice your opinion consistently, you set a tone for yourself. People try to recognize you, your attitude and your character. You begin to command respect from those who are not courageous enough to express themselves. But with expectations come responsibility. Therefore, be careful with the tone, your voice you create, manage it. Be strategic when you speak up. Otherwise, you'll be just like a loose cannon that just want attention. Okay, that's two different things. Whether you are an attention seeker or you just really want to your voice to be heard positively, not just an attention seeker. I heard a bell just now. I hope. Is it time? I just on item 2. Okay.
The first one always take a lot of time. The first one always take a lot of time.
Okay, I just need to be.
Make it fast.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Okay, then
Next.
I think just to perhaps it will, but speak up whenever you have a chance or opportunity. Perhaps it will expedite your career path. Don't be afraid. Don't be timid. Well, it's not about winning priority contests. It's about winning the respect of your peers, and that will help you, not just you, but also grows your organizations that you work with. My advice is that be vocal, don't be afraid, test your ideas and take note about how people react to them, but do it responsibly, with purpose and reasonably. Okay, item 3, don't burn the bridge, because you may have to walk over it one day, just like myself. That's in my opening speech. I do not want to work in my previous office, but I have to. So in a way, you need to keep your integrity intact. Architectural practice in Malaysia relatively small, so put your best in the firm. Live in a good hand or good term. Word will spread if you live on bad terms. If the firm is good, it means that you are on the losing end. There is no chance for you to return once you finish your whatever masters or. So be professionals. Don't be emotional, even if you had a negative experience in your previous office. Okay, number 4, be humble and don't be pretentious. I think that this is among the shortest one that I had among the items that I had. If you don't know something, or if you had issue with your work, just be honest. Honesty matters. Honesty is the policy. Ask questions and speak up. If you don't understand something, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing in the world if you don't know something. You get your answer through your right questions.
Okay.
Number 5, make mistakes. Don't worry about making mistakes during the course of your works.
Okay.
That is how you learn.
Okay.
Okay. I need to make it short.
Okay.
And then number 6, education doesn't end in school. Okay, be a student all year round. Never stop learning. Learn as many as possible.
Yes.
Renderings. Invest in digital skills. Okay. I would like to. That's about all. Because the time is very limited. I need to cut short things
Yes.
that I had listed down. I would like to end my presentation with these quotes. It's not the answer that enlightened us, but the questions. Ask good questions, create values. You need to continuously create values for yourself, because value is very important. Thank you. With that, I thank you. I'd like to thank once again to PAMSo Chairman and the team for this opportunity. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and
Thank
very
you.
good morning. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hazri, for your sharing. I mean, I totally agree with you that integrity is all that matters, and develop our own and unique skills during this thin time is very crucial as well. And thank you very much for your sharing.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all participants,
Good morning.
especially to PAMSo chapter chairman, Architect Farik, our immediate past chairman, Architect Hazri, senior architects and my fellow colleagues. I would like to elaborate more on the part 3 and part 4, which I think is a crucial matter to all graduate and young architects towards the future and to remain relevant. I would like also to inform that I will present it in both English and Malay to express my ideas and on this topic. Okay, next. Do it ASAP, as soon as possible. As an introduction, the journey of part 3 is a tradition that will be passed by one that wanted to be an architect. This is the compulsory route, which is shown in the slides. In short, one will attend an architectural course at the university for around 4 to 6 years. Next, one will go through the working world to gain experience for at least 2 years, as required by the LAM before sitting for the part 3 exam. At the same time, to fill up the logbook. After checked by the LAM, one will sit for part 3 exam, which divided into oral and written exam. For the written exam, they will be divided in 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. If a person passes the exam, then one is eligible to be called as an architect. So what's next? This is the part 4 comes in place, the business parts or entrepreneur. Of course, with the new title that you got, architect, you will be able to run your own office. Basic services in the architectural consultancy services will be the only way that you will think of at the moment, the eager to practice. So the value added supplementary services. As a disclaimer, this is my sharing only for this as part of my experience, my little experience in this field. Before that, I wanted to talk about value. In my past project experience with my colleagues, we often offer value over price. We venture in things that can strengthen our value to each our face in the basic services to our client. So we have improved and enhanced our way of presentation, reporting and interact with our client since then. Value yang saya maksudkan adalah nilai bagi suatu kerja atau produk atau task yang pihak klien berikan kepada kita lah, yang mana produk tersebut memberikan faktor yang tinggi kepada mereka untuk buat keputusan berdasarkan kerja yang konsultan lakukan. Contohnya apa yang saya alami ataupun saya experience adalah semasa membuat laporan terperinci terhadap analisis tender yang memudahkan pihak klien untuk membuat keputusan bagi pelantikan kontraktor. Laporan yang kami sediakan adalah as brief as possible but precise and concise that the client will understand within minutes to make the decision. So apa yang kita present dalam 5 minit pihak klien terus boleh buat keputusan untuk lantikan kontraktor. So when we talk about basic services, it is too broad in terms of value actually. Too broad maksudnya bila saya interpret brief untuk basic services. Every stages dalam basic services actually scope ataupun task yang disenaraikan tu brief sahaja. So tak ada actual interpretation on each of the scope. So it is subjected to one interpretation on that statement. But if we can deliver our services with a good value dengan interpretation kita sebagai architect, I think the scale of minimum fees shall be not a problem to client, and the fee actually is worth for paying for lah. So I would like to read a quote by Matthew Frederick in 101 Things That I Learned in Architecture School, which is an architect knows something about everything, an engineer know everything about one thing, which means that we can do anything in terms of skills. Kita boleh buat costing, kita boleh buat project management, kita boleh buat some other yang relates dengan kita punya construction field lah. So what I wanted to highlight is we need to aim to be in the highest value chain to make architecture a truly recognized profession. Kita nak jadi dekat atas sekali. Kembali ke atas lah maksudnya. So a suitable platform to demonstrate this so-called value added is in the supplementary services, which we might call it, ataupun kita as saya dengan my colleague call it as gig economy in architecture, where each services provided must be performed by expert and specialists in that particular field. And I believe this is the way forward for us graduate and young architects, which required our fresh and vibrant ideas. So next, show me the way. So this is my past experience with my fellow colleagues. As you can see, we have been ventured into multiple value-added services. Yang ni tak termasuk actually dalam basic services. Ini adalah supplementary services. Such as yang pertama, the first one, we have performed as an independent checker ICE for UCAS application for Dana UCAS. The second one, we have produced marketing e-brochure for housing project for PP1M and Kejora. The third one, we have been in an event management for key handover ceremony, both for PPAM. The fourth one, we have used our own in-house apps for facilities management to manage complaint in the defect liability period, DLP, to homeowners. The next one, we have presented construction progress report for Sukma in Johor, PPM and Kejora in interactive ways to the client and the stakeholders. Last but not least, we have been employed as construction management consultant, CMC, to manage and report during construction phase to our clients. So in the conclusion, we would like to highlight that value-driven services should be the way forward for us, the graduate and young architects, which can be implemented through gig economy or supplementary services to remain relevant and competitive. That's all. Thank you. I will pass back to the moderator.
Okey, terima kasih daripada Mansur atas perkongsian yang diberikan. Okey, untuk makluman, Mansur adalah kawan saya juga. Okey, my senior at university. Dan juga pemangkin saya lah untuk ambil part 3. Ada tahun ni ke tahun depan, insyaAllah. Amin. Okey, tak berapa masa. Okey, seterusnya saya berjemput ArTV untuk memberikan perkongsian.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I hope everyone can hear.
Very clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Very clear. Okay.
So thank you to Mr. Hidayat and Ms. Hidi as our moderators. I'd like to take this opportunity to also thank our PAMSo chairman, Farik, and our immediate past chairman, Hazri, for this opportunity to, briefly share about, I guess, my passion. So I'm architect Hafi from studioKAIZEN. So a bit of a disclaimer, I'm not a senior architect. I'm quite relatively speaking young, 18, not 31. So I'll be sharing briefly about my vision and my passion along my journey of value adding architecture especially in this new norm post COVID-19. So I'll be elaborating more on Architect Mansur's explanation regarding value in architecture. So more specifically in one of my own endeavors in enhancing our services via gig architecture or supplementary services. So I've been personally invested in digitalizing our architecture services. So currently at studioKAIZEN, we are currently developing a system and application to help project management. So next. So of course, as you can see, this is our basic services according to the architect rules, from schematic design to the final completion phase. So of course, we're not replacing. We're not attempting to replace the services that have been gazetted in the architect rules, but we're planning to value add to our services. So next. So this is our master plan of kind of creating a fully digital system to help architects manage a project from schematic design to final completion. But since this talk will be a bit short, I'll be talking about only one of our system and app which we use during the final completion phase or the defect liability period, which we call BERES, which stands for Building E-Report System. Next. So our Building E-Report System is essentially an app to help developers manage complaints of defects by the homeowners. So could you go to the next, please? So again, our Building E-Report System is meant to be used by both the homeowners and the developers of a project. So let's say there's a defect. There's a defect in one of the houses. The purchaser of the home can essentially report the defects to the developers via the application itself, rather than going to their office and taking all of those hassles. So it makes it a lot easier for the developer to manage all the complaints, since everything is stored inside of this BERES system. So everything can be categorized. Each defect can be taken from each space. So each purchaser has their own login ID. So you could log in, and if there's a defect, you could essentially go to the defect, take a picture of it, and send some remarks to the developer on what the defect might be. So in turn, the developer itself can see the defects which have been submitted by the homeowner. And in addition, the homeowner is also updated on the status of the defects. For example, as you can see, you can see the history of the complaints in some of these screenshots. So next. Scroll bawah. So of course, some of the core features of this app itself is it helps us record data systematically. So imagine from in the defect liability period for around 24 months, there'll be a lot of complaints coming in. So by using this system, you essentially have a systematic record. So for example, in our one of our recent projects, which was handed over late last year, there have been around a few thousand complaints by the homeowners. So what this app helps is that it helps categorize, and it helps the developer keep track of all of the defects, and essentially helps coordinating with the contractors in order to rectify those defects. So another core feature is also the user-friendly interface. So it's easily accessible by the homeowners, and also We also have made sure that we have an upload picture feature on it. So again, you can take a picture of the defect and send it to them, send it to the developers for them to rectify. Also, we've also put a push notification system. So let's say you submitted a complaint, so the developer will be notified of that defect itself. And at the same time, if there's a progress on the defect, then the homeowner will be notified. So let's say there's an appointment to come to the homeowner's house to rectify the defects, and they'll be getting a notification from the developer. So again, in order to enhance our value again, this app needed to be integrated with our local statutory laws. So what we've done is we've taken the Schedule G and Schedule H's essentially period of rectification by the developer inside our system. So essentially, you can track how long does it take for a developer to rectify the defects. So of course in HDA you'll have 30 days to rectify the defects. So of course we have this tracking system, so it ensures that each defect can be tracked and monitored closely by the developer. And of course our final feature is cybersecurity and making sure that the data is secure. So this is one of our apps, again, which we call BERES, which stands for Building E-Report System. So I think this is one of the apps that I think that we could help, add value again to our architecture services, to be more competitive, especially in this new age. Recently, the government has kind of denounced, I guess, the scale of minimum fees. So they're not really using it anymore for our projects. So I think by focusing on supplementary services is our way of kind of circumventing and kind of working around that movement by the government. So I think that's all that I'll be sharing today. So I think I'll conclude my talk here. So I'll thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I'll pass it back to the moderators, Mr. Hidayat, SCD. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, AR Hazri. Thank you, AR Afi. So once again, thank you, AR Afi, for your sharing on the value added in fully digitalized basic services. And once again, thank you, Architect Hazri, Mansur, and Afi for your sharing. Now we will move on to our main program of this event, which is the Q&A session, or what we call the sharing sessions. All participants are welcome to drop down your questions in the chat box with everyone, and we will address them to the speakers for their response. If you would like your questions to be answered specifically by one of the speakers, you are welcome to do so by addressing his name in your question. Alternatively, you may turn on your microphone and raise your questions to the speakers. I saw in the chat box that we have some questions from Architect Rida Raza to AR Mansur. Do you think architecture are bottom of the chain in e-commerce as compared to all other fields? Do you think digital marketing, blockchain services platform, digital need-based analytical platforms, services paid in and crypto and NFT will be the future to enhance our services?
Okay, this is my answer yang tak berapa banyak pengalaman lah. I think for the moment in Malaysia, I would say yes, we are bottom of the chain in all e-commerce. Compared to overseas lah. Untuk dalam negara, I think we at par, but we need a little push or platform from our own community towards that. Actually kita kena we need full support lah from everyone in our architects community, so that we can deliver ataupun kita boleh move forward, kita boleh step ahead to another stage untuk kita offer dalam bentuk digital, dalam bentuk blockchain. So sebab yang ni support is something that I believe we need to have, so that we can move together. Bila bergerak sendiri, I think memang susah lah. So we need to move together forward. So that's my answer.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add a bit regarding the services paid in crypto and NFTs?
Sure.
So essentially, I think currently we're at the stage that cryptocurrency and non-fungible tokens is what NFTs are. Is quite in its early stage. So I think maybe not in the next it's not going to be here in the next 5 years. I believe it will be maybe 10, 20 from now, because I think one of the main reasons with architecture is that it's a bit inaccessible to the layman. For example, I'll be speaking about NFTs in particular, because NFTs essentially makes your product one of a kind. You cannot recreate them, but at its core, it's a digital product. It's not really a physical product, so to say. So I think adapting architecture to NFTs might be a bit hard as of now. Whether or not we be using crypto, I think not at the moment. This is my honest opinion. Thank you.
Can I add a bit, Hidi?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So I think this is a very tough question by a very senior architect actually.
Very tough question.
Hi Lisa. So I think maybe
Soalan part 3 ya ni.
Itu maybe.
Oh, this is part 4.
Part 4.
Heavyweight kena lawan dengan heavyweight.
Part 5.
Part 5. So basically what I think essentially all we need to do, young and graduate architects, in my opinion, this is what we practice in our office, is that you have to customize the technology in digital into your own interest. So if you talk about NFT, digital marketing, let's put that same concept into our practice. That's, I think, what I understand from the value add. And then use that as a source of additional fee to our basic services fee. For example, we actually during this PKP, we were tasked to do a proposal for 1 week using digital to our clients. If we are not able to accept that service, this is not success basis. This is a paid service, negotiated paid service according to architect rules. So we accept the challenge. We use digital marketing technology, whereby we use a lot of videos into our presentation. That is essentially what the new digital marketing teaching us. We are all stuck to our YouTube and Facebook for learning how to cook nasi lemak, learning how to cook but we did not use it to our own industry. That is very funny. We see a lot of people singing, we see a lot of people cooking, we see a lot of people making fun, but that's how we interpret the digital marketing knowledge into our practice. So we be able to show to our client that this land that you are going to purchase is worth investing, because the digital presentation with all the analytical presentation prove that they can have a good ROI or good ROC or good return on investment. So we have a template that I think I think easily key in, because I think those are based on the previous job that we did. So I think this is how I keep telling the younger generation, if you have a system of your practice converted into a digital, so if you have opportunity to do supplementary services, don't attach it to the main basic services, because it will become success basis. We should not do that. We should not do a success basis. They ask you to do perspective. They ask you to do all this nice rendering. At the end of the day, we did not get paid because they did not get the job. So if we put that highest technology, like Mansur was saying, putting it in the higher value chain, it has to be paid, because those are the higher value chains. They are part under supplementary services. We fight with our client. If you want to do fast with this kind of digital technology, you have to pay it as a supplementary services. So I think for us 50 years and above, it is too late, in my opinion, to invest alone. So you need a combination of our experience, the 50 years or above experience, to work together with the younger architects and the graduate architects to develop this opportunity for supplementary services. To do digital, like ArTV is saying, ArTV did it before he got his AR. So he developed the system before he got his AR. So meaning that is an opportunity for graduate architect. Somebody just have to give him the platform. The moment he got his AR, he can further develop it from, I think maybe ArTV learn more to get his part 3 because he is tasked to do the digital. So I think he has to know all the SOPs. He has to know all the X. So by doing that, I think he got 2 knowledge. One, passing the part 3. The other one is the digital knowledge. See, so I think there is value. There is definitely value in making your skills, the new generation skill, young graduate architect, coin it under a supplementary services. That is where you would not be competing with a lot of other senior architects in southern region, where we already crowded in terms of providing architectural consultancy services. So that's my answer to Rida Raza. Hopefully it's clear enough for this forum. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Farik, for your elaboration. The next question from Rida Raza as well. I think this is open to all speakers. Can you share how do you package the approach to developer for services? Do you sell the basic scope? I think I'll address to Farik first.
Okay. All right. So I think this is partly already answered in the first question to Rida. We actually do not package it inclusive. We package it separately because I think I have a generation gap in my practice. So the supplementary services we totally assign to the young architect and graduate architect group, because they know best on this digital technology. So while because on my part as a senior architect, we focus on our basic services. So for example, like one project, we will be able to have one basic services agreement, and then we can have multiple supplementary services agreement. Meaning that for launching of the project, this is our project. We know our design. Why we give it to an event management to promote our product? Why not we do it our own digital marketing launching? Why not we do it? We always, architect is very generous in terms of giving a lot of our skill to other people to make money. So that's why we challenge ourselves. We propose to the client, why not we do your launching marketing material, e-brochures, cutting ribbon ceremony. We have our videos. We what do you call it, when the Menteri comes for the event, we are part of the main part of the event management team. We have our separate fee for that. So I think generate multiple opportunity, because the supplementary services are not dragging time in terms of getting the investment, getting your feedback.
Yeah.
Supplementary services are very short, like this Mansur was saying, they are gig architecture, quote unquote. So you finish the launching ceremony, you claim you get your fee. And to do the material for launching, you do not need an AR, you need a graduate architect and a young architect special skill. So if the firm are able to have this different setup internally, so I think rather than so many people opening up so many offices, you should be combining with different type of skill. So it end up become a bigger entity to serve your generation requirement. So I'd say we do our basic services. Then we have sometimes the mentee come for the event. Suddenly you need an event management event. Like today, actually we have our KPKT mentee to come and visit our site in Laken. So I think our digital team have to go there and record the process, and then we some part of it are paid for the event, some might not, but you enhance your capability in terms of not only the basic services. So we do have recently we have like handing key ceremony, but because of the PKP, it's a hybrid. It limited. The Menteri Besar still need the event, so it has to be in under PKP. So they have to rely the events key ceremony event in the digital form. So that is how we offered our service, done by the younger team. And then you get a separate fee. You will be surprised how much an event management make money on event management, and yet they take our perspective, they take our presentation, as part of under the direction of the client. But that has to be paid. That is our skills, our product. So I think that's how I think I challenge the younger, the young and the graduate architect. Focus on the value-added service that is related to your time now, which is some of it is it is in the digital form. So that's my answer.
Thank you very much, Farik. Okay, we have a question from Sufian. Has the proximity to Singapore encouraged better transfer of knowledge or even leverage digital knowledge for Southern architects? I think I'll pass this question to Afi to answer.
I think the beautiful thing with digital is that it doesn't need to be physically close to somewhere. I think with digital, at least on our own capacity is you can essentially find digital examples everywhere. So myself, when I'm developing this app, I tend to look at a lot of references from online. So either I install the app myself, or I'll go for a trial, or I'll Google search it, or I'll go Pinterest it, or whatever. But I think by doing that itself, I think it doesn't limit our capability of discovering these new technologies and processes, especially if it's digital. I mean, you don't need to be close by to Singapore. So I think that will be my short answer. Hopefully that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Another question.
If I may add a bit.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Sofian, for your question. I think I just like to add on a different perspective and what happened in Johor is that I'm relatively new in Johor because staying here for about 10 years. I was in KL before. Things that I noticed during these 10 years of my staying here is that working with Veritas Johor before, I just felt like it's not about the technology, it's about a brain drain, or it's like some of the good students or good graduate architects, they just do like pit stop in JB, and then after a while they get familiar with the system, how to work, and then this the bright, good graduate architects, they will go across the causeway to work, because they can get. I think main thing, because of the salary is very competitive, they earn more there. That's what happened. Sometimes that's why things gets alamak. Sometimes kita fikir macam things that this guy wouldn't stay long. 6 months they will go to Singapore to work. All right, thank you, Hedi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I think the next question we will direct to AR Mansur. Can you share how did you start embarking this transdisciplinary approach with collaboration with software designers, event planner, asset specialists, etc.? How do you handle credentials to convince clients, particularly government, on this?
Okay, kalau kita back to our history, actually we have started this way back on last year of 2019. So, kiranya sebelum COVID lagi lah. So once COVID datang, dia sebagai satu spark lah untuk kami untuk gather all these software engineers, event planners, asset specialists. So and then the government also actually in a way dia help us on the scheme of apa nama, tak silap saya, peluang pekerjaan lah, peluang pekerjaan untuk rakyat-rakyat yang hilang pekerjaan semasa COVID. So we pick that from there lah, all the software designer, event planner. So dekat situ kita kumpulkan, and then kita buat satu sesi sepanjang PKP, satu sesi untuk buat framework macam mana untuk kita establish all these supplementary services untuk kita kuatkan lagi kita punya value lah. So untuk convince the particular government, actually we have go through some of the government entity. Kita punya co-partner actually our tech venture Sirim. So mereka sebagai kita punya advisor untuk move forward dengan apa yang kita dah buat sebagai framework tu. Tech venture Sirim ni advise kami untuk commercializekan perkara-perkara item-item yang dalam kita punya framework lah. So another thing, we have been to various government agencies, actually just to promote tu bukan promote lah, macam kita buat introduction kepada mereka untuk kita punya sistem, bukan untuk jual lagi lah, just untuk promote kita punya penggunaan sistem kita kepada kita punya project.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mansur, for your response. We have another question from Sufyan. From what Farik is saying, there should be more emphasis on cross-collaborative practices. At the moment, there may be opportunities for architects to put themselves higher in the value chain, like Mansur was saying. but there may be some legislative hurdles that may limit this collaborative environment. What can be done more to encourage this? Any comments? I think Farik, can you elaborate on this?
Yeah. All right. So I think thank you, Sophian. But okay, what previously in my experience, what we did was we formed a MDP company. So it is under the Architect Act called multidisciplinary practice. We have all main professional, including lawyers and accountants in the company. So I think going through that, I think because we have too many pilots in the company, so everybody drive their plane on a different separate direction. So the effort was actually a bit difficult. So I take the initiative to form a similar way of working, but in my own firm. So not having so many collaborative with other professional, but we have more engagement on the knowledge of the multidisciplinary practice. So the emphasis, like in my office, architect should be able to know when you design a double-story terrace house to present to client, you should know how many per square foot that that design cost your client. So all this knowledge actually seems to be missing from the younger and young architects, where because we rely too much on the QS and other multidisciplinary practice to actually provide an answer to us. So that's how the system works in our firm. We do have all this knowledge for the young and graduate architect. They are actually very well versed in all the knowledge. So the collaborative practice that I think Sufyan is asking is actually a bit different in our setup, in our proposal, in such that we do it internally, including the digital. So what Mansur was saying is that we do not have a separate third-party engagement. We hire apps developer in our office. We have to invest. This is another separate topic. I think every time we have our basic fee from our client, we do have a separate contribution to the digital team. So for example, like say we dedicated 15-20% of our fee to R&D in digital. So I think that's how we, for this digital, we suffer a bit in the initial part of our effort to promote supplementary services as a value-added services. By engaging a third party, they are very inconsistent and they are not able to understand what is architectural consultancy services. So we got very frustrated. So we seek government help in the My Job. What Mansur was saying was under the PAMSo system, which is called My Future Job. We enlisted videographer, we enlisted apps developer, the graphic designer. So all these people are actually very funny. When we interview them, they thought it's a scam because it's required by an architect office, for digital team. So I think that's the kind of investment that I have to allow for the younger generation in my office to be able to have some equipment, software, some capability to move forward. So I think as a senior architect, that's the least that we are able to, to have a succession in our practice, because we are not going to be here forever. I mean, somebody has to take over. So I think that is my comment on Sufyan's question.
Thank you, Farik. I think I have some questions for Ayah Hazri. Hazri, during the economy downturn like this, how can an ACP sustain and make it through for the rise again? I mean, in general, how can an ACP sustain? Just give us some insights, maybe, perhaps.
That is to me tough because I've seen that during my years in practice, I've seen how the office has developed to sustain in the difficult times. I think first thing is that you need to really, there's no easy way out. You need to work hard and put up a lot of efforts on. You need to do a lot of marketing, invest in things that like what Architect Farik has pioneered. Now, I think probably different in 10 years ago or 20 years ago. You need to market yourself, get yourself visible in whatever way. So that will bring you closer to, probably getting a job. Talk, communicate, do some networking. Otherwise you have to know people. Otherwise, you have to go out. You can't be sitting in the office all the time because, of course, you need to get to know people. Then only you get a job. I think that's what most employers or most of my bosses does during hard times. I think to even do some marketing during night times, seeing people night times to get some leads for probably a jobs. So it's not confirmed yet, but at least you have to do that to land you a job. Perhaps that answered your questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have another question to ArTV. Okay, to ArTV, what is the challenges during your startup of the digitalization process?
Challenges of starting. In my experience is actually to convince other people to have the same, to embark on the same journey with me, because it's hard for people to adopt to something new, which might challenge their status quo. So I think that's one of the main challenges that I have to face, because it will not be easy to convince everyone to adopt digitalization in how the way you work. So yeah, exactly that.
Okay, thank you, ArTV. Okay, another question mungkin pada Mansur lah, sebab saya masih graduate architect untuk mengambil masih dalam proses untuk ambil part 3.
Sorry, Mr. Moderator. Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
I just like to know whether the participant can ask question directly without going to the chat box. Can they speak?
Can. Boleh.
Can. Okay. Those who are
Boleh.
interested, please just on your mic and speak. If you have any other questions, you can ask the panel directly or to any one of us. All right. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Dengar.
If I may ask any panels, kan? Yes, I agree with the digital era sekarang ni. Is advanced technologies.
Yeah.
So before I believe that all the brilliant architects panels in this forum is actually going through a time where the ideas come out, spark of ideas before going to the digitalized creating software and everything, right? So what I'm trying to say here is actually that is how brilliant people who have executed their ideas towards something new. Then what I'm afraid now is actually the young architects, future architects, is actually you are looking at the product, they are looking at the final product, they are not looking at the process of doing it. So that's actually jeopardized their performance in terms of communication. I agree with Hazri mentioned that in order for the company, small company, because I'm working in a small company actually. So in order for us to actually be as far as our level of company, between 1 to 5 years, to compete with all the more than 5 years, the otai in the market is very, very hard. So then add on with the market from freelancer, designer outside there, contractors and everything, so on, so on. So I believe that actually what we should stress on and enhance to our young architects and also our future architects is actually on the skill of communication, the freehand, because we architects, we have been taught in the university on how to deliver ideas through sketches. And that drawings is actually is not mainly only for delivering ideas in terms of design per se, but that sketches is actually has to be elaborated to produce a good chart, good diagram, a good design process of initiating program towards how to get the sponsorship to for the project, for example. So that is actually very crucial. For me, that's very crucial because digital ni is a tools for me. When whereby the communication, the way of communication is the skills. Or if you have that skills and communication, you will produce the excellence product. But if you have only the digitals, it will be rigid and also there's no soul inside of your work. So I think I'm happy to listen to all the panels in these forums to presenting the product of their how they work and everything. But I'm looking forward actually to see on how the process is done from the beginning, how the discussion done by the team it's doing by sketches, by diagram drawing, brainstorming session. That's I more like keen to know about it. Thank you.
Moderator, are we supposed to respond the speakers?
I think, yeah, it's a very good question on the floor. Can we get ArTV?
I think the question is the last one lah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Can I have moving forward in the session where they can share with us how the process of brainstorming session to the product that you are actually embarking now.
Okay. Can I answer that, Hidi?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So I'm glad we have sounds like we have one believer. So I think you look at the reason we put numbers on our faces earlier. That was how we communicate in pictograms. That is what I'm trying to say, is that I am at the age of 53 and Afi is at the age of 31. So my world is a freehand sketches. I can do perspective freehand. I cannot do in digital. To be honest with you, I am a digital. I'm blind in digital actually, but I am a thinker. Whatever experience that we have for 30 years. I think one question that have to be asked, because we are running a practice, so efficiency is very crucial. I mean, you look at the ACS itself, the way you are taking part 3, I think you guys all should look at this. We have 5 pillars we call it 5 pillars in ACS. You have a schematic that is equivalent to 15%. You have CHIM, construction implementation, at 25%, FC at 5%. So if you use the same concept with R0, which is in our COVID now, meaning that you divide the percentage to the time spent to do each task of the ACS, then you will be able to actually see the efficiency of your practice. Meaning that for a 25% of fee allocated in your ACS, it requires you, if Schedule H, a 36-month of construction. So if you take 25% fee claimable divided by 36 months, compared to a client ask you to have your schematic design ready in 3 months. So 15 divided by 35, 3 months. So the weightage is like R0 is high actually. So meaning that you can place all this. This is how we discover the way how the digital processes, the priority on the digital processes. So we call it CREAT in our system, creativity and IT marriage together. So, you still cannot take away your creativity. Sketches. So I would advise you to actually read the presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs. That is how he is our guru actually in our system. So
I see.
So you know Steve Jobs. Everybody know who is Steve Jobs, right? Everybody using the product. See how efficient he is. He always start with analog. If you read the books, they start with blend in analogs. That is the processes that our Norizan, the just now, on Norizan. That is how Apple started. It never started with digital when they are planning on iPhone, iPad. It always started with the freehand sketches in the in the airplane. So these are the things that it has to be a good marriage between myself in the level of 50s. I do not know whether I should be called senior architect or medium architect. So and a younger architect. So why not? There is a collaboration in terms of within our own system first between the seniors and the juniors, because it could create a lot of amazing things. We believe we have created an opportunity for both graduate, young architect and senior architect. So the processes actually are part of the system before you see the digital, before you see what Afi shown you on the Beres. It has to go through about a year of you have to have a processes. If not, the apps developer will not be able to produce your apps. So it kind of asks you a question whether you know your field or not. If not, you cannot do the apps. So you have to come back with the sketches. You have to come back with the act, like Afi is saying. You have to build in the schedule H or schedule G about the defect liability clause, where you got 30 days, another 30 days, and then you end up in tribunal in the KPKT. So I think all these are actually built into a digital. So it's not, a lot of people think digital is a kulit sahaja. It is not. The real digital is not about kulit. It has a lot of content. The content is a combination of experience and a mix of graduate, young and senior architect. That is always what we did in our system. So in terms of the workshop, yes, we PAMSo are working with PAM-KL. We under the CPD committee. There is I think 6 series of workshop, if I'm not mistaken, Afi, 6 series of workshop to be conducted from A to Z, how a young graduate architect can participate in this. In fact, even senior architect in the process of a specific digital apps into our practice. I think you are welcome to join the workshop once it is finalized with PAM CPD KL. Thank you.
I think I'll add a bit, if it's okay.
Yeah.
I think for our younger generation, I mean, even younger than myself, I think I agree that the notion that technology is a tool, and the analog process is still needed. but I think we can marry the both of them. So meaning, let's say if you sketch on paper, nowadays you can sketch on your iPad. Nowadays you can sketch on your graphic tablet. Nowadays you can sketch in your computer. Now, I've been following one of my other passions, I should say, is following other movies and stuff. So, and one of their processes is that they need to come up with concept art. This is industrial design essentially, but what they use is they use the graphic tablet so that they can sketch digitally. So it's all part of the process, and it's still an analog process. And I think that we need to use technology in conjunction, because otherwise, if you're using AutoCAD, of course there's going to be a bit of your soft-handedness will be, it will disappear, of course. But I think we should leverage technology a bit more. So that's my take on it.
Can I say something, Hidi?
Sure.
A very short one. Okay, right. I think I must compliment what architect Farik and his firm has done to the professions. I think he has done a lot. He set a standard of how architects can become during this turbulence times, during this downturn times. And then, in fact, that way I say it is that he has put a lot of pressure to the fellow architects, those who are the other practices in JB, to actually compete. What I mean compete is that you compete healthily, and then with his advanced digitalizations, explorations on other aspects of softwares, and of which most are still in the elementary stages of their practices in engaging with the digital softwares and those. Thanks. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you, Hazri, for your sharing. Encik Hidayat.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we moving forward to another session. Okay, we would like to invite Farik again for another session about the PAMSo hopes. Farik? Kat speaker je Farik. Farik speaker.
Now we talk about the PAMSo program. What I think we are trying to provide now is actually we dedicate a special program under our YouTube ArTV. One program, actually there are two programs available for young and graduate architects to actually showcase your basically it's a free will program. You can show your skill. I think what we try to avoid is that the platform does not belong to a award-winning architects. They are actually for all. Whether you are starting out, whether you have some interesting thing to share, I think do please share with PAMSo. And we will officially launch this. I think you have the privilege. The B4TVoice was given. I think Idi and Sharudin and Hidayat are very good in convincing me that you need a special program, special, and then that's how we give it to you first. You can participate in the B4TVoice TV program, ArTV program, and you can also participate in another program called You Got Skill. So I think these are the area that do not require AR lah, it doesn't have, in terms of knowledge, you don't have to have an AR coin to share. So I think you can share your interest, your question, your whatever you want to show, we will help you to actually edit it in the sense that it becomes a value of work to you. In fact, even a semester presentation, nowadays people can video it, people can people can do a lot of things. So do share with us. We will definitely air it to our TV channel for everybody to see. And do mind that this is a YouTube channel, so the opportunity for multiple sharing, the opportunity for bigger audience beyond Southern region. So I think it's something that we would like contribution from all of you, young and architect, to PAMSo. So hopefully we have a good collaboration, on this matter. And then I think please do join PAMSo. I think we are actually only 200 students. We are only 200 group, and I think half of it is actually student, half of it is actually graduate and corporate member. So I think 1/3 of it is half of it is actually graduate student. So I think do join us. I think we can create a lot of good information for everybody to share. So I think that's my plea to all graduate and young architects. Please have a good collaboration with us. Thank you.
Okay, Edi.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Encik Hidayat and Farik. Okay, moving forward, this is not the end, but the new beginning. On behalf of PAMSo, we would like to thank all of our speakers and participation of our PAMSo graduate members and non-members for joining this session. In return, we hope that our effort to promote sustainability is the new norm will continue to stir new ideas in our B4T group and support the young generation of architects in finding new directions and develop valuable skill sets to stay competitive and relevant in the challenging time. PAMSo would also like to welcome more graduate and young architects and also architectural students to join us to achieve this intention. There will be more B4TVoice program organized soon, and we would like to request young architects to participate in making B4TVoice a significant force in the Southern region. For information, we'll be giving the QR code at the end of this session, and if you have not joined the PAM membership yet, we strongly encourage you to register today and stay active and involved in our PAMSo, as there will be more exciting programs coming up. So Boon, can you please share the screen of the QR code? Thanks.
I also shared the link at the group WhatsApp here also.
Okay. Yeah, we will also share the link in the WhatsApp group as well. So you can fill in your details and your attendance information for our record. Yep. So stay tuned. We'll be posting more activities and dedicated programs in the B4T WhatsApp groups. And you're welcome to invite your friends to join the group to get the latest event updates. So we will move on to our photo session. To all participants, we will be having our photo session now. So can I invite all of the participants to on your camera for the photo taking session?
Yes.
Technical team, are we ready?
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No freestyle, eh?
No, freestyle.
Thank you very much.
Habis satu freestyle, one
Okay.
freestyle.
Boleh,
Yeah,
boleh,
one
boleh,
freestyle.
boleh.
Boleh saya
Boleh,
pun.
boleh. Boleh, alright. Okay, one more. Freestyle, Right. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Okay, I would like to thank you, the young and graduate committee. This is the first time you handle it very professionally. So I think this is running very smooth. Even though this is a first for everybody, this is the first time in the entire history of PAMSo to have an online program. So I think you guys planned it carefully within a week.
Yeah.
I know this is a week. I think less than a week.
Yes.
Experience. So very good. Thank you very much for for being professional. The young and graduate architect can do it. So thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we shall end this session. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you again soon. Goodbye and thank you.